Hello everyone and welcome back to another history video. This one is Valentine's themed. As I don't really have any history series going on at the moment, so I thought this would be a fun little one-off. I will admit, when it comes to Valentine's Day, I am very cynical. It's all a capitalist greedy scheme to just pressure people into spending their money, otherwise they're not showing love to their loved ones. And all they're really doing is lining somebody's pocket. But anyway, based on a very basic Google search, you can see that Valentine's Day stems from pagan holidays. So how did we go from paganist festivals to love hearts and chocolates and teddy bears? That's what we're going to explore today. What exactly is the origin of Valentine's Day? There's a lot of different answers to this, but today I'm going to be going through the different cultures, people, and events that contributed to making the day we have today. Let's start with the pagan festival Lupercalia. Lupercalia was a Roman holiday which held a fertility rite. There were many steps to this ritual, including the sacrifice of a goat and a dog, the skins of which would be carved into strips for boys to then whip girls with. Being hit with one of these skins rendered a girl fertile. I'm so glad I live in modern times. Lupercalia was a super popular Roman festival, and it was allowed to still be held up to 150 years after Christianity was legalized in Rome. It was Pope Gelasius who forbid Lupercalia in 494 CE. The Christians then appropriated Lupercalia to become a day known as Saint Valentine's Day, a day celebrated by feasting. But how did this happen, and at what point? While Lupercalia was still held for its popularity, Christians were of course trying to shut it down, as it celebrated pagan gods such as Faunus. By taking Lupercalia and then making it a Christian event, it solved the problem. There's a surprising amount of examples of Christians taking things from pagan cultures and turning them into Christian traditions. Having a tree in your house at Christmas? Pagan origins. Bunnies in Easter? Pagan origins. Now this is the part where the story gets really unclear. We don't really know when all these transitions started happening, and it's hard to create a timeline. We also don't know which Saint Valentine that Valentine's Day was named after. There's roughly 30 Christian saints named Valentine, but there's 2 Saint Valentines who are the actual likely candidates. However, it is possible that these are actually the same person, just with 2 different accounts of their story. So there's Saint Valentine, and then there's the Bishop Valentine of Terni. Since many websites and articles don't actually specify which Valentine they're talking about, there's some details that I may be assigning to the wrong Valentine. Saint Valentine was a priest who was arrested during the Roman persecution of Christians. He refused to renounce his faith before the emperor and thus was placed under house arrest. The head of the house challenged the Saint Valentine to prove the power of God, and thus Valentine restored the sight of a blind girl. The whole house converted to Christianity after this miracle. The moment the emperor heard this, he had him executed. The Bishop Valentine of Terni has a very similar story. The Bishop Valentine was known for his gift to heal physical disabilities. He healed the son of a Roman scholar who was unable to speak and unable to move. The scholar and his family converted to Christianity. Because of this, the Bishop Valentine was arrested and later beheaded. Both of these stories depict Christian saints who were martyred and supposedly died on February 14th. There's also another variation of the story where the Emperor Caligula basically bans marriage, as it was causing all this homesickness among Roman soldiers. The Saint Valentine, however, continued to marry couples in secret and was eventually executed for going against the emperor. Another legend states that while he was imprisoned, he wrote a letter to the jailer's daughter, who he had healed from blindness. He signed the letter, "From your Valentine." So Christians started a day dedicated to the Saint Valentine, whichever one it may have been. So how did this initial religious feast become a day to celebrate romance? Like with anything with origins in ancient history, the meaning slowly changes over time. Jack B. Urch, a professor at the University of Kansas, believes that romantic ties to Valentine's Day initially started with a poem. Written by Geoffrey Chaucer in the poem The Parliament of Foels? I don't speak that language. This link between Valentine's and romance was likely by chance, as it was also the time that birds began mating in Europe. Shakespeare actually followed in this idea, as he refers to Valentine's Day in Hamlet. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I am made at your window to be your Valentine. The first Valentine's Day card was sent in 1415 by the Duke of Orleans. He sent a card to his wife while being held prisoner in the Tower of London. Valentine's Day cards only gained popularity in the United States after the Revolutionary War, in which people would send handwritten letters to their sweethearts. In the US, Valentine's Day cards began to be mass-produced in the 1900s. In the UK, it could have been as early as the 1800s. These early Valentine's Day cards featured hearts, cherubs, and women. Presumably, it all just developed from there. Poets and the creatives developed the link between the day and romance, and across time, different countries and cultures began to embrace it in different ways. Cards were at first the most popular way to celebrate Valentine's. Now it's the gift giving of flowers and chocolates and teddy bears. It is now one of the biggest days for hospitality businesses and one of the most popular days to get married. While a lot of elements of modern day Valentine's are mostly marketing ploys by business, all of the capitalist schemes of it all sound a lot better than being whipped by animal skins. And there we have the complicated history of Valentine's Day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got to learn something. Valentine's Day can be a hard day for some people. It can be difficult for a romantic and aspec people, as we have all this romance ideals shoved down our throats. Whether Valentine's Day is something you celebrate just to give your loved ones a reminder of how much you appreciate them, or it's something that you don't really care about, it's just another day of the year. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and make sure you subscribe for more content. If there's any other history series that people would be interested in me starting, please let me know. I'd be eager for some ideas. And that's all from me. Bye!